let's see what's new in Fast Bokeh 2.0. Here I have a basic scene that's imported from Cinema 4D. There is a render layer and a depth layer here. Let me go ahead. This is the render layer. It's a Ferris wheel and some people. There's a foreground, there's a middle ground, and there's a background. So to see that, let's go ahead and click the depth layer. So when you see the depth layer, the people that are closest to the camera, they're in the foreground, hence pixels are dark. And the sky is further away from the camera, so the pixels are really bright. And the Ferris wheel is in between, so they're kind of grayish. So Fast Bokeh expects the depth map to be in between 0 and 1. So always make sure the depth values are between 0 and 1 in your scene. If your depth map doesn't have its values in that range, make sure to export it so that the depth values are always in between 0 and 1. So for now, let's go ahead and turn off the depth pre-comp. Let's select the render layer, go ahead and click Effect, Rebyte, and Fast Bokeh. Now by default, it blurs everything here because it doesn't have the depth information yet. So let's select the depth layer, and now let's try blurring it. And now it's kind of selectively blurs throughout the scene. So let's go ahead and select the focus point. Select this person here. So now you can see this person is a focus point. So these people are kind of close to the focus, and this is kind of blurred, and the background is really blurred. So that's the basic gist of it. And now there's more options that I would want to go through right now, but this is how the plugin works. You can select a different focus point, for example. It's the Ferris wheel, and then now the Ferris wheel is in focus, and both the foreground and the background are blurred. Let's go back, selecting this person, and you can change the shape of the iris. For example, this is spherical. You can select it to polygon mode, which has a higher quality. And you can also select, this is new in version 2, you can also have a custom image as an iris. So to do that, so let me go ahead and show you. I have a small halo that I created using a simple circle effect that comes with After Effects. It's a nice little halo here. Let's go back. So I have this halo import here. I'm going to turn off the visibility and go ahead and select the iris shape to custom. And then make sure to select the iris shaped halo. Now you can see that all the bokeh has that custom shape. You can use any kind of shape. I just use this halo shape because it's easy to make. If you increase the render quality, you can get really nice bokeh shape here. And make sure to work in linear color working space. Whenever you're working in so if you want to really get the highlights like here, make sure to always work in linear color working space, because the way the project is set up, if you're ever in a high blur situation, you should always have this checked on. And another thing that's new in version 2 is you can use the GPU. If you have a compatible GPU, this really renders really faster, and it's even faster than the CPU. The CPU itself is pretty fast bokeh, but the GPU render is really fast. And the other thing I want to talk about is zone control. This is also called segmentation. The technical term is segmentation. What it is for example, here we have a scene. Right now you can see this light kind of spills over from the light from the background, kind of spills over into the foreground and into the focus area, which is not bad if that's what you want, but in many situations that can be undesirable. So you can do this multiple zones. For example, you can, let me go ahead and select Ferris wheel, as the focus. And right now the people here which are in front of the Ferris wheel are also getting blurred. What if you don't want that? To do that, just go ahead and select the near blur factor, set it to 0, and everything in the near zone is also not blurred. It's also in focus. So only the further away from the focus is blurred. So this is all in focus. But as you can see, there's still a lot of spillover that's coming from the background into the foreground and into the focus zone. So to avoid that, you can select this option. This is new in FastBokeh 2. It's called Render Each Zone Separately. And you select that. What happens is every zone is rendered and blurred separately and then finally composited within the plugin. You can actually check that. So there's nothing in the near zone because everything that's closer to the camera is in focus. So let's go ahead and select the focus zone. This is all in focus. And this is all in the far zone. Now the reason why you see these empty holes is because the plugin doesn't know what's actually behind the pixel. So you get this weird empty zone. But when you select final composite, you see the final composite and everything is in works as expected. Here, if this is especially clear, if you turn this off, you can see the lights here kind of spill over into the focus. When you select the separate zones, there's a sharp occlusion, so everything in focus is always sharp. So that's a very useful thing if you wanted to. And say if you do want a little bit of blur, if you want these people to kind of have a little bit of foreground blur, you can increase a little bit. And you can see there's a subtle blur, and it kind of creates this much more realistic effect. And this is how zones work in FastBokeh. Let's go ahead and select the focus point back here, and that's this is how it works. You can also increase the highlights if you want. For example, I can make them even more brighter, or I can increase the saturation. And that's pretty much what it is. The other thing I want to talk about is a zone focus width. For example, if you want to have a wider focus zone, not just one point or one plane, you can increase a little bit the width so that more pixels are in focus. I mean, go ahead and select the Ferris wheel again. So you can see that the wider it is, the more. So right now these pixels are not in focus, but if you want everything here to be in focus, you just kind of increase the width a little bit, and you can also offset it more towards the background so that only these are in focus and these are kind of blurred. So there's a lot of things you can play with around here. You can control a lot of things within the scene. This is what's new in FastBokeh 2.0, and hope you guys like it. You can always change the render quality. I think 3x is a really sweet spot. It's really fast and has really good quality. It's almost closer to the 4x. I can't really tell a difference, but if you really want the highest quality, you go for 4x, but I think 3x is pretty good. So let's leave it at that, and hope you guys like it. Please check out FastBokeh, and thanks again for watching. Thanks.